What's up, you sweaty nerds and greasy degenerates? We just had a nuke dropped on us in the form of two brand new characters coming to us in patch 1.3 of Wuthering Waves. So first we're going to take a look at the arts, then the character bios, then of course we're going to speculate on what we know so far based on rumors for the characters' kits, their combat, and the elemental damage type that they're going to be providing to the meta. So let's go ahead and take a look at this here. Now we are going to start off here with the Shorekeeper, and not just because she's like super hot or whatever, like obviously she is super hot, but like she's also the 5-star character from this patch. As you can see right here, we got the 5 stars down here, and over here with Yoo-Hoo, we have 4 stars. Based on that alone, the 4-star character is obviously going to be less impactful. And yes, I did just call her Yoo-Hoo, because when I first read this name, it immediately brought me back to my childhood when I used to drink this chocolate drink right here called Yoo-Hoo. Man, I forgot this even existed. This brought me back, bro. Oh my god. So in my personal headcanon, you can't tell me otherwise. This is Yoo-Hoo. Obviously, correct me in the comments on how you actually pronounce her name, but I'm not going to say her name right because she's Yoo-Hoo, and you can't tell me otherwise. All right, so let's actually get into this thing here. The Shorekeeper. This name suits me well enough. It aligns with my purpose and drive. They only exist because of you. It aligns with my purpose. The way I take this line right here, the Shorekeeper of the Black Shores. Yeah, I think they're trying to just tell us she's from the Black Shores, but the way I also take this is that her name probably suits her purpose. She's probably like a shorekeeper, a gatekeeper in a way for the Black Shores. And I wanted to point out really quick this symbol in her art. This symbol is different than most other characters that you have seen. For example, if we take a look at Chang Li, Chang Li's is like a dragon. We see the same exact one for Baizha. And I found out what this symbol actually means. It literally just means the area, the region that they are from, because we take a look over here at, where is she? Yoo-Hoo, she also has this same dragon symbol, representing that she's from Huanglong. So that's all that means in that symbol. A mysterious divine being governing the essence of aloofness emerges in response to your summon. I love that they use the word aloofness here because it quite literally means not friendly or forthcoming, cool and distant, conspicuously uninvolved and uninterested, typically through distaste. So for all you people out there trying to court the Shorekeeper, trying to shoot your shot with the Shorekeeper, trying to get in her panties, get her in your bed, just forget about it because she's already shut you down with her aloofness. So we see here in her art, people have already started pointing this out, that with this hood and with this sort of starry, like guardian kind of vibe, that she gives us a very Black Swan-esque look. Like she gives us sort of the Black Swan vibe from Honkai Star Rail, if you guys remember that game or know her from that game. Now, obviously, it's not a direct like inspiration or XP or something like that. Just wanted to point that out because a lot of people have been talking about it. Now, before we speculate about her combat and her element, etc., I did want to point out something very unique and interesting about her design. You see the scar right here running down her chest. This is the same type of scar we see on literally every single other character. Now, they don't always show the scar in the splash art. This is Chang Li, for example. This is where the scar would be for her, and as you can see, it's kind of like whited out as if they didn't want to show it for some weird reason. But as you can see, this is where it would normally be, and yes, this is the type of scar. It's the same type of scar, it's just hers is black. Every other character's is black, but for some reason, with the Shorekeeper here, hers is this crystal kind of blue color, which is very unique. It might be the biggest version of this scar we've ever seen, but it is that scar. It is that scar that is on every single character. I just wanted to point that out. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty here. With the Shorekeeper, she's already had a design change once. Well, what I mean by that is her physical design has already changed from what we had seen before. Now, I can't really show you guys that stuff. I'm not sure if I can show you guys that stuff, so I'm just going to refrain from doing it, but just take my word for it. The Shorekeeper looks way better than what she looked like before. This is a massive improvement, kind of like what we saw with Yinlin. Now, as far as her combat is concerned, it seems like the rumors at this time are saying that she's going to be a Spectro character, that she may also potentially have 2 different forms. Now, the Spectro thing I'm pretty confident on, but the 2 different forms thing I am not so confident on. I think people are just getting confused that she had a design change, and people might be thinking she has 2 different forms when really it's probably just one, and it's just been a design change that they made. So more than likely, I would lean into the Spectro thing. I wouldn't worry about her having 2 different forms, like having Havoc and Spectro. It's possible, but we just don't know at this time. Now, she seems like she's going to be more of a healer type of character. She could end up fitting more than one role. She seems like she's a busted healer that does a whole lot of stuff. Kind of like Jinzhou does, but like just different, you know what I mean? And it seems like she might be able to be a bit of a power creep to the healer slot or sustainability slot, making her gameplay very brain dead. You guys know certain characters in other games that just like, you have them on your team and they make it so that you practically can't die and that they give you amazing OP buffs. That's what the Shorekeeper seems like right now. Sometimes it's a hindrance to the character because it can hold them back. Like if they're doing way too much stuff, they're never going to be the best at one given thing. Kind of like with Jinzhou. She's not the best at anything. Like she can't really DPS that hard compared to other characters. She can't really heal that well compared to other characters. So she fits a million different roles, but the only thing that she's the best at is shielding, and that's because there's no other shielder in the game. But it doesn't seem like that's probably going to be the case with the Shorekeeper, because she's probably going to do so much stuff and do it so well that she will probably be the best sustainability character when she arrives in the game, probably power creeping Verena. That's all based on speculation, so take all of that with a grain of salt. She seems like so far she's being set up to be a very, very powerful character, not just in the lore, but in the meta as well. Like she's probably going to be able to run like or enable dual DPS for this game. You kind of can already do that, but like she might be the best enabler of dual DPS that we've seen so far, based on the, of course, rumors, right? Now she doesn't seem like she's going to have any shielding or anything like that. It seems like she might have some form of damage negation, almost like a Fu Xuan, where Fu Xuan from Honkai Star Rail has a lot of damage negation, not a shield, but damage negation in some way, shape, or form, and also a bit of healing as well. And the Shorekeeper seems like she's also going to be buffing you as well, not like Verena with an attack buff, but maybe something else like a damage buff or elemental buff. Hopefully it's a neutral damage buff, that way she can work with literally anybody. That would be so amazing. So cross your fingers and pray that the Shorekeeper will be a neutral damage buffing character that can be used with pretty much any team and is not necessarily some niche type of character. That's what we're hoping for so far. That's what it seems like is happening so far. You know what I mean? Well, obviously, myself and others will keep you posted if something important changes. Now, as far as Yu-Hu is concerned... Oh, sorry, hold on. As far as Yu-Hu is concerned, we do seem to have her pinned down pretty well as of right now. Like, if you take a look at her design from her art, for example, it looks like she's going to be an ice or glacio style character. She literally has a snowflake right here. The symbol or sigil is covered in some ice right here. Her hands underneath her gloves, both of them actually, if you look closely, have a little bit of ice, like or maybe potentially corruption coming from underneath the gloves. It's more than likely ice, but technically it might be corruption like someone like Yan Wu or someone like Mortefi has, as you've probably seen in their art or their designs as well. But I believe this is more of a giveaway of her being a glacio character as well. That's what the rumors are already, and I'm trying to help, like, in a way, give some weight to those rumors because of what we see from her actual physical design. Sometimes some characters will have a giveaway in the eyes as well. Like in Genshin Impact, for example, sometimes the literal damage element of the character is actually the symbol inside of their pupil sometimes. And I think we might be getting something similar to that here with Yu-Hu. Obviously, that's a bit of a stretch, but that might be what's going on, at least with her elemental type. So we're looking at more than likely a glacio or an ice-style character with her. Now let's take a look at Yu-Hu's bio over here. Here you go, a special edition of my poetry collection, hand-signed by Mua. You are welcome, Yu-Hu. Yu-Hu is the natural expert in identifying antiques, is capable as a capable speaker with distinctive tastes. When dealing with treasures and antiques, this jubilant dynamo settles into a calm perception, tracing their distant past through their wrinkles, and textures. Yeah, sure. So, like, that doesn't really tell us much about the, like, actual, like, any hints to her combat or anything like that, but it does give us a little bit about, I guess, her lore, which is cool. There it is. So let's go ahead and talk about some of Yu-Hu's combat capabilities. Yu-Hu over here is, we know a lot less about her, okay? We know a lot less about her. She seems, as of right now, like a sub-DPS kind of unit. Now, not quite like Cheng Li, where Cheng Li is like a main DPS practically because she has so much damage output, but just so happens to have an outro skill that can buff the next resonator that you switch into. And so that means that Chang-Li is like you could run her as a DPS or a sub DPS that deals a ton of damage. Now Yu-Hu over here is likely going to be more of a supportive unit who is more buffing your characters rather than dealing damage. That will be the sub DPS functionality to Yu-Hu, at least as it stands right now. That could end up changing and likely will. So again, take the speculation with a bit of salt. It is just speculation, so please don't take it like to heart. And with Yu-Hu, it's a bit hard to say whether she's going to want to hang out on field or off field. She's likely going to be doing a bit of both, as many sub DPS characters do, but we just don't know a ton about her yet at this time for that type of like more engaged combat style. Now, as far as the Shorekeeper is concerned, the fact that she's likely going to be more of a healer and she's going to have a lot of off-field capabilities means that she's not going to probably want to hang out on field that much, which is usually what healers and stuff like that will do. They come out, they do their thing, they go off-field, but their off-field buffs and their off-field presence is still there. So that's likely what we're going to see with the gameplay for both these characters is Shorekeeper comes out, she looks hot, she looks pretty, she does her thing, and then she leaves and she ignores you. And then the Yu-Hu over here will likely come on field a little bit more often than someone like the Shorekeeper will, at least as it stands right now. Anyways, if you guys like Wuthering Waves, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone Zero, all that kind of stuff, consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.